Jimmy Fish, Monster Radio AM1150, and we're talking to three distinguished gentlemen from a band called Seventh Circle. Now, you guys haven't actually played out yet, right?
No, we're a new band. We've only been around a couple of months.
So you're still in the practice phase.
We're still in the practice phase, but we're getting closer to being able to play out and record our debut album.
Cool. From left to right over here, why don't you guys tell me who you are?
Kevin Askew, rhythm guitars.
Chad C. Watson, vocals.
Eric Evans, drums.
Can you give me a little history on how the band started?
Yeah, me and Jeff Newman were in the signed black metal band Minion, and once that fell apart, him and Mark Elston, who has been around and been in bands, he came down to this area, and they ended up forming Seventh Circle, and the band, from what I remember, this is going back to like 05, I think, they always had like a revolving door of members. This is actually Newman's third time being in the band, and they finally got a lineup that was playing out, and they actually ended up opening for Megadeth and playing with Machine Head, and they played a show with me and Newman's last band, 1134. We had a show or two together, and they ended up falling apart again, and then and I had just got through doing a bunch of movie score work, and I didn't have nothing going on. Then Eric started texting me about wanting to start a band. I was like, well, and me and Mark have been talking about forming a band, but we never could find people to stick with it, and Mark decided to move to bass because he was normally a guitar player, and we got him, and then we ended up picking up Kevin, and then Newman ended up joining. This is actually my third band with Newman, and here we are, a new Seventh Circle. It's nothing like the old one.
Okay, let's go over to Eric and start with you on what bands that you've been in the past, a little of your band history.
My resume isn't so extinct, it isn't as long as Chad's, I don't guess, and not as glorified as Kevin's over here, but I come from a band, Death County. We never really played out, anything more than a bar or something like that every once in a while. We were more of a heavy metal band, speed metal, stuff like that.
Kevin, why don't you tell me about that big resume that Eric was talking about?
Well, I appreciate the comments, but I played with a band called Solivus for about 5 years, 5.5 years. We've opened up for bands like Collective Soul, Hinder, Theory of a Dead Man, things like that. Played with Collective again up in Wisconsin, which was a really cool experience. And
nice.
We did alternative rock. It was a lot of fun, and played with them, and I came over here after we disbanded.
Cool. Chad, what are your musical influences?
I listen to all kinds of music, but whenever playing rock or heavy metal, I'm a big Misfits and Danzig fan. Faith No More is my favorite band. They're a big influence. I'm a huge fan of Norwegian black metal, and that's always going to be a part of my playing and performing. Other than that, I've got so many hard rock and metal bands list, it's like insane, and I'm just going to leave it with those.
Do you have any like in the closet listening that you do, anything that kind of guilty pleasures nobody would know that you listen to? Well,
a lot of people know my guilty pleasures, and they know about my Selena Gomez fetish, and that I actually have paid money for her first 2 albums. You might find a Toni Braxton song on the iPod maybe, or some other stuff.
Or the whole album.
Could be the whole thing, yeah.
I understand that you do like women of color.
Yes, I think Toni Braxton and her sister Trina are the pinnacle of black women.
Okay, thank you, Chad. How about Eric? What about you? What are your musical influences?
A lot of mine focuses, around drums, since I am a drummer, and I'm a huge Slipknot fan. And I like Lamb of God. Obviously, I'm wearing the shirt, and it's more of a metal style. When I get in the mood or whatever, I guess my guilty, listening pleasures or whatever, have to be, something like Sublime or something like that, which I don't think is, too bad there.
No, that's nothing that anybody would look at you strange from the next car if you had the window down cranking it up.
No, not at all. But it is kind of out of my realm, as far as they're not heavy at all, obviously.
Who do you think is the best drummer in the entire universe?
Hands down for me would be Danny Carey. I seen an interview one time where he talked about, he's so into it that, he travels the world and goes to different tribes, and learns their ideas and their musical theory and applies it to what he plays. Yeah.
It's pretty heavy duty. Let me, hypothetically, okay? We obviously know the drummer from Def Leppard is one-armed.
Right.
And a fabulous drummer at that.
Right.
So if you could be, like, amazingly talented, best drummer in the world, but you had to give up a limb, would you do it?
Couldn't do that one, Jim, because when the right arm gets tired, I got to use the left one.
Okay. The old switcheroo.
Yeah.
All right. And Kevin, over to you now. Musical influences.
It started way back in the day, probably Judas Priest, Iron Maiden stuff. Love the styles, K.K. Downing, Glenn Tipton. There's Adrian Smith. I guess later in life now it's been Nightwish. Lots of power, progressive, classic metal, symphonic metal.
Wait, so you're talking about all of these subgenres of metal now?
Very much so.
So it breaks down into subgenres.
Very much so. Yeah, that's the trend.
What would power metal be? Would it be what it sounds like, just really fast
Shield,
metal?
swords, back in the day.
Shield, swords.
Yeah, like guys running around their loincloths with shields and swords and, all the, how it goes. Watch the movie 300 is a perfect example. Dragons, back in those days, I love that. I wished I could have lived back then.
Like Dragon Force.
Dragon Force.
Okay.
Cool.
Definitely. I got you.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like there's so many subgenres these days of all types of music. Even with used to it was pretty much dance music. Now it's got dance, techno, trance, on and on and on. It seems like.
Yeah.
All right. Any guilty pleasures in your music library?
I have to say, it's
Boingo.
You're close. Yeah, you're real close. It's a band called Ballagamingo. It's very ambient, very soothing. It's beautiful music.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, even the hardest core rockers need to chill out every once in a while.
Exactly. Yeah, I can listen to pretty much anything. I'm not real big on country or hard rap, but pretty much anything I'll listen to. Yeah.
I'm going to switch back over to Chad for this one. What sound is the band going for?
We've been called like gothic 80s metal. And that's kind of what we're going for because we all kind of have an 80s metal influence. But we're also kind of going for like the love metal sound, like the band Him. They're like the kings of love metal. Yeah,
another subgenre there.
Yeah, love metal. It's and like with that, like some of the songs they're really romantic.
Oh, is it like like going back to the 80s, some of the 80s hair band ballads, like stuff like "Love of a Lifetime" by Firehouse?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but like real heavy. There's real pretty stuff in it, but it's got real heavy guitars,
heavy chugging riffs, really good stuff.
To be such a scary looking guy at times, Chad's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
He loves to be loved and cuddled and everything,
Don't we all,
You have a website and different ways people can connect and find out about the band?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. Just look for Seventh Circle, or there's a link to our Facebook on the website, which is www.seventhcircleband.com, and seventh on that is 7th.
Okay.
And you can, if you want to, we'll tell our emails. Mine is chadcwatson@hotmail.com.
This is Eric. My email is Drummond, DRUMIN, .freak, PHREAK, @gmail.com.
Or Kevin, it's Casey Askew @hotmail.com.
One question I just about almost totally slipped my mind that I wanted to ask you guys. Does anybody in the band worship the devil?
No.
Absolutely not. No.
Although I've been accused of it.
Chad does. Devil food cake.
I'm definitely on the right side of.
Okay.
I know where I'm going.
But
I just had to make sure and clear that up.
Yeah. I don't worship the devil. I get mistaken too, but I don't.
Little bit.
No.
Just. Are you sure you don't worship the devil?
I don't worship
Chad?
the devil. I don't even believe there is a devil to worship. So.
Okay. Just had to clear that up.
Another thing I'd like to mention: Jeff Newman, our lead guitar player, and Mark James.
They worship the devil?
No, they don't worship the devil either.
Okay, just
We left that out.
Yeah, and we got to mention them because they're part of the band too, and unfortunately they couldn't be here. But you can find us. You can add us on Facebook. I don't know what their URL is. I think Mark's is facebook.com/Mark6, SIXX. I don't know about Newman's. Mine is facebook.com/Chad C. Watson.
I have no idea what mine is, really.
It's Casey Askew at facebook.com or whatever that little
Facebook.com
thing is. They have a .m.facebook,
yeah,
whatever.
Cool. But if you go to the band page on Facebook, you can find us all. And it sucks other guys couldn't be here. But Mark and Newman basically started the band. Mark could tell you way more about it. If you have any questions, get a hold of him on Facebook. He'd really be the guy to talk to about the band history.
Oh, one other question. I almost left this one out, too. Very important. Has anybody in the band, or at least any of you guys, ever dressed up as one of the members of KISS for Halloween, as I did when I was a kid?
Yeah, I got to say me. I think that happened to me once when I was very young. I believe it was my brother's idea.
That's Kevin, by the way, if you're just listening and not watching the video. Kevin's the perpetrator of that. It was your brother's idea.
I think that may have happened.
Which one?
I did, however, though, dress up as my own fan one time.
That's Eric. Eric, you dressed up as one of your... Can you elaborate?
Yeah, a couple of my buddies, we had a little jam band going on. We made up a name and wrote up T-shirts and went as their own fans. Got a lot of candy. That's all that mattered at the time.
That's great.
That's another thing. We do have T-shirts for sale for $10 a piece, so if you want to, get a hold of us on Facebook.
And you're only cool if you have one of those shirts.
Yeah.
I've got to get one.
We're looking to get more merchandise as well pretty soon.
Well, look at KISS. I used to have a KISS belt. I had KISS bubblegum cards.
KISS Pez. Remember that?
I bet those are worth a lot of money now.
Pez dispensers.
KISS condoms. They do have.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
KISS
Wow.
condoms.
I think they come
Could you
black and white.
imagine a seventh circle condom?
I bet we can get them made.
Well, yeah, we've already got the circle in the name, right?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. And
It
it
worked.
fit perfect for the package, our logo.
I don't think that I planned this interview to go in this direction, and but we got off track a little bit from the music. But it's also good getting to know you guys. You guys are real, and I like that. And you're about the music, but you're about having fun too. It seems like.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, you gotta have fun. I mean, these guys are like my brothers. You know?
We all get along really well.
Yeah.
And everybody's seems to be very committed, and everybody's trying to work on the same goal. This isn't. Everybody's pretty open about discussing things. We talk a lot. We keep in regular contact through Facebook and group messages. So, we really try to make an attempt to keep everything on the same page. Of course, things get out of whack sometimes. But.
And it's not a one-track thing either. I mean, Kevin's adding music to the repertoire. Chad, you write, obviously, and Newman and Mark, they add it too. It's a collection, and it's not just one person's vision. It's all of ours. Our past, our who we are, and that's what a band's all about.
Collective Soul would be a great name for you guys because kind of what you're saying, your souls are collective, but that's already taken. Yeah, and I think your buddies with Collective Soul would have a problem with that. So
major, I'm sure.
So anyway, congratulations, continued success, and thanks for stopping by and talking to us.
Hey, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks.